Okay, so we are all set up on Sutori. So now what we want to do is start creating some stuff with it. On our dashboard, you have the My Stories section here. You'll just want to click Create a Story and start your first one. So that'll take you to a blank template. There will be nothing on it, obviously. You'll want to start by adding a banner image. So if you click that button, you have a couple of options. Number one is you can paste a link from somewhere on the internet, or you can drag or upload something from your computer. So if I have, I'm going to do a project on the band Iron Maiden. So if I wanted to do that, I would just drag my picture in from an image search I did over here. It's not perfect, but I don't want to get too nitpicky on this. It's one of the things you might take a little bit of time to make sure you don't have a lot of control over centering or cropping this. So you might want to look around for an image that's going to be a little more flexible. But anyway, we'll start with that. Okay. Let's try that again. And we'll click upload, and then your image will upload, and boom, there we have it. You can, of course, I'd want to credit where I got this from, so I'll just paste in the web address right there, and that's where I got it, from metalodyssey.com. And so it could also be, if you want to put a caption, you could there, but I'll use it for credits. Next, you'll come down here. So I might say, if I want to do a timeline, I could say the history of Iron Maiden. A short history of the metal band. Okay, so this is just going to be your title, and then a short little description of what you're going to do here. So those are, that's the basics. So at this point, I have the simplest structure done. Now I can start adding the kind of interesting things. And the first thing you want to do is put a heading for your story or your timeline, and then you have choices. So this is where you can start kind of having a little bit of fun with it. So if I hit the plus button here, I can do text, image, video, audio. I could do a did you know, which is like a interesting fact will kind of be highlighted. I could do a multiple choice. So that's like a little quiz. You can come in here and edit and pick the correct answer for. You have a couple other options. You do matching quiz, which is kind of the same. Forum is where people can come in here and basically leave comments. So if that's, if you want this to be something that's interactive, that can be participatory, that's what you could do with forum. You can have your kids come in and post things. You can add more headings, et cetera, et cetera. Most of the stuff is self-explanatory. I'm going to start with a heading, and I'll just say a history. I'll say the beginning. Okay. And so I'll just start with text. I'll put a piece of text over here, and I'll say the band Iron Maiden was formed in 1975 by bassist Steve Harris. All right, so that's the simplest thing that you can add here. Maybe on top of this, I want to add an image. So if I were to go and find a picture of Steve Harris, and that's exactly what I'm doing, I can find that on the internet, come drag it in here, and you will see the man himself right there. So there's Steve Harris. You can click on this, and it will pop up. But I also like to put a description. Steve Harris running the groove. Okay. You have a lot of flexibility, like I said. So if I want to come in here and add a video, most of probably what you're going to want to add from here are YouTube videos. So if I go to YouTube and I want to find a video of Iron Maiden, just do a quick search here. And I want the song Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden, which is, perfect. Okay, so copy and paste that YouTube link, and then that will pop up there. I can preview it. All right, and so I might want to add a description here. The self-titled tune Iron Maiden. And that needs to be all-sized. From the debut album. in 1980. All right. Okay. So, just to kind of throw down a little bit more here, I could add, let me do a multiple choice quiz, and I could say, edit. The question is, who is the singer for Iron Maiden? And so you could say, let me change this and say the current. You could say Blaze, Paul Diano, or Bruce Dickinson. And then, I mean, we all know that Bruce Dickinson is the correct answer, so I want to click there. And then I could also add an image to this as well. So let me come back here and find a picture of the band. Drag that over here. And so ideally, you wouldn't probably just randomly throw a quiz out here in the middle of your story. You'd probably provide some background information, some of these sources they could be looking at as they come down through it. And somewhere they would have read that Bruce Dickinson was a singer. They wouldn't have to probably guess at that. All right, so I'm out of the edit view, so this is what it would look like. Who is the current singer for Iron Maiden? The students would get a chance to come here and click on this. I'm not going to go into all these because they're self-explanatory, but you have matching as another option. And forum, so you could have kids come in here and post stuff. I could ask, what is the best Maiden song? And then when this was viewed by someone else, they could come in and actually post some things that we could start a discussion with the kids in your classroom, which would be kind of nice to kind of get a conversation going. So, I mean, obviously I'm doing something like Iron Maiden. It's not going to be academic, instructional, but this is just an example. If you did something like the history of the American Revolution, this could be a video with some context. This could be an article. This could be some pictures. And then you could have some activities built into the end here where students could start, matching stuff up and working with that content to do some hardcore learning, cool learning type of stuff. So, kind of as an example, I'm going to leave this story. I'm going to come back to my stories main tab here. I'm going to create a story. And let's say I wanted to do something that was more of academic rigor. Let's say I really like the book Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. So I could come in here and I'll find a banner that goes along with that. Drag that in. So here's the copy of the story, that book. So, whoops, my story. It ate my story. Whoa, hello. So I'm going to add my banner image. I'm going to drag the title of the book in here. All right, so Slaughterhouse-Five. Oh, looking so good. Okay, center and upload. My image is now uploading. All right, so here's Slaughterhouse-Five. I might come in here and be, this could be chapters 1 through 5. An investigation of the first chapters of the book. Okay, and so heading might be chapter 1. I could come in here and throw down some text. After reading pages 1 through 50, complete the following tasks. All right, and I'll come down here. I could do a multiple choice quiz, edit, simple question, who is the protagonist in the story? Roland Weary, Billy Pilgrim, All right, and so we know Billy Pilgrim is the main character of the story. Boom. Might find a picture that could go along with that over here. And just simply drag in a picture. And I always think it's, if you have the option to put pictures on these things with the activities, I think it's worth doing that just to keep engagement high. So I'm going to click out of that. And so this is the beginnings of basically an independent book study where I could throw down with some text directions. I could get them some quiz, or I could do a little bit of formative assessment while I do it. I could even go in here into YouTube, and I could find a reading from Slaughterhouse-Five. And just drag that video in here. So here is Vonnegut himself doing a reading from the book. So I'll click here. I'll go video. I will paste that in. And then, so this is Kurt Vonnegut reading some of that story that students could then view, which would kind of add to the story. So what I'm trying to show by showing you the timeline, but also like the academic module that we've kind of developed here, is these are stories. There's not one use to these things. There's a million different ways that you could use something on Sutori to support stuff in your classroom. It could be something that students use to create stuff. It could be a way that you organize your lessons. You could have students create review tools with this. There's a ton of different uses for publishing stuff with Sutori. So that's what I'm trying to illustrate here. So hopefully that's clear. We're actually going to move on in our next episode. We're going to talk about collaborating and sharing and opening this stuff up a little bit. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.